Again, my name is Dmytro Kapotia, and I work at TCO Development, organization that is behind global sustainability certification called TCO Certified. My pleasure to join today's this webinar. And to be honest, we had an idea about this webinar a long time ago, but it's happening only now. And maybe, yeah, the stars had to align, and to make this happen, I think right now we have actually amazing cluster of participants because it is a constellation. We have market that enabled sustainability filters on the platform. We have sustainable purchasing leadership council and Sarah joining us, whose work we admire a lot. We have Lenovo and Virginia joining this webinar, and Lenovo is one of our licensees, a brand that has a range of certified products. And finally, us, TCO Development, with our certification TCO Certified. So I think it will be a really good discussion afterwards, a conversation, maybe more like conversation about sustainability in the industry. So I'm looking forward. Today's presentation is divided into parts. I think it totally makes sense to complement and explain what TCO certified is, since Andres mentioned the filters. So I guess purchasers and other stakeholders present at this webinar would like to know more about our certification. And ahead of the presentation, I'm sorry if I don't go into details about some particular areas or questions due to limited time. But again, feel free to reach out to me and my colleagues afterwards, and we can offer you assistance and guide through everything. And in the second part, I'd like to highlight our recent experience with resellers and system integrators, distributors, how this landscape looks to us, and what we aim to offer at some point. And maybe not only filters on platforms like Market, but maybe something more. But there are some issues as well that we want to address in the coming generations of our requirements, and I will highlight this later. Let's start presentation. So TCO certified, as I mentioned, the global sustainability certification for IT hardware or mostly for office IT equipment. It is independent certification. We work for non-profit, and we are run for basically, we are under umbrella of one of the largest unions in Sweden called TCO, Tjänstemännens Centralorganisation. And actually, every year we report to this union about our progress and positive impacts that we make. And believe me, they are interested in us progressing and advancing because they care a lot about their reputation. It's also interesting to highlight that TCO Certified was launched more than 30 years ago in 1992. And at first, it was a certification for work environments in offices. And that's why the focus was mostly on IT equipment and health-related aspects of work environments. But eventually, with years, certification evolved to full-scale sustainability certification. And by now, we cover both environmental, social responsibility, and supply chains. So we grew up a lot within these years and even decades. One of our bigger features is actually independent verification. So for verifying compliance with all our requirements, we always involve independent verifiers. I will just double check my timer. Yeah. So independent verification is a big part of our certification, test labs, testing products and product performance. Independent auditors going to factories to check compliance with our requirements. Everything is in place. Uh, Again, important things that we revise requirements every 3 years, and basically the day we launch next generation of requirements, we already start working on the next generation. And right now we're halfway to the launch of our next generation number 10 of requirements that will occur next year. And quite soon we will actually open floor and invite more and more of independent stakeholders, including purchasers, to provide feedback and share their insights and experience about sustainability and how they see the industry, because it's also our large advantage. We give voice and power to purchasers to affect the industry. So we unite the voice around us and help to express visions and desires for future of IT equipment. Again, as any certification implies, there are mechanisms to maintain compliance with our requirements. And in case of non-compliances, whether it's on factory level or product level, we basically revoke certificates and give more time or help brands to work on removing some of the issues in supply chains. But as always, it depends on the situation and how severe are these non-compliances. Some general information. So TCO certified covers 12 product categories: displays, notebooks, desktop computers, all-in-one computers, headsets, projectors, smartphones. And recently we added some newer product categories like data storage equipment and servers, network equipment. And I'm not gonna lie, there is difference between product categories in terms of available certified products. Some of them are more populated, some are less. It usually depends on certain factors and circumstances. Very often about competition between brands. So often there should be one leading brand that will step forward and pass certification for in the new product category, and then other brands will follow. But it also depends to high extent on purchasers and their interest and requests. So as always, I will encourage you, purchasers, buyers, to actually request and insist on offers and offering more sustainable IT products. You affect the situation a lot. Right now, if you check our product finder, you will find more than 3,000 certified models, but it also means that there are many more certified product configurations within these models and product families. And on annual basis, it's millions and millions of certified products produced from across 28 brands right now. You may see some of the brands, some of the examples below the slide, and well-known brands, well-known for everyone. Again, I encourage you to go to our product finder and check currently available certified products, and yeah, all information is updated on daily basis. You might ask why we do this, but to be honest, I don't want to dramatize, at least more than Andreas did. And Andreas, you did really good work. But I guess that by now we all understand that whatever product we buy, yeah, not necessarily IT products, they all come with a wide range of impacts. From the stage when the resources are extracted, when the product produced, to the stage when the product is actually delivered to end user and the product is used, and finally the end of life stage when the product discarded or recycled, or if you're lucky enough, it's actually repurposed or disassembled to be reused, to disassembled to components to be reused in producing or repairing other products. But at each stage, there are impacts, and if you deep dive in supply chains, you will see that there are challenges with chemicals, with hazardous chemicals, with social inequality, basically on the level of wages. In some cases, in severe cases, child labor might be involved. A big question where some of the critical materials and minerals coming from. Again, here we can refer to batteries, lithium-ion batteries, and cobalt. Again, e-waste is the final stage, the end of life of IT products, one of the fastest growing waste streams in the world. And it was great to see that someone highlighted this in the chart during the previous presentation. Altogether, you see it's a wide range of issues to be addressed. And that's what we are trying trying and work on in TCO certified when we develop criteria to comply with. So basically, to address these challenges, we act in several areas. You can see that we divided them on 4 different domains. And first of all, and again, I mentioned this in the chat, one of the most efficient ways to reduce the impact from IT products is actually to extend their product, their lifetime, a useful lifetime. And of course, for this, they need to become more circular. And we need to enable eco-design on the level of product to make them more repairable, to make it easier to disassemble these products, but also to make them more durable and resistant to different factors. It is a challenging area, and it's not as easy to push it as it sounds whenever you see and read all materials like MacArthur Foundation. It's still in the very beginning, and we set foundation in our requirements in Gen 8 and 9. And in the Gen 10, we aim to advance some of the requirements that cover, extended warranty from brands and how easy to disassemble these products. But then again, it's so great to see modern policies and such things as repairability index launched in France. Eventually it will make a big impact on the industry, and we will move towards more durable and lasting products. Again, keep in mind, or at least to explain why it's so important. It is important because up to 80% of, for example, emissions, CO2 emissions associated with IT products, they occur during the production stage. So every time you can avoid buying new products and encourage industry to produce more, this is the best available option. Second domain is about environmental impact on the level of factories. Again, energy management. I will not stop on this one for too long because I think that the following ones are more excited. Another big domain, of course, is social responsibility in supply chains. You can see that I enlisted anti-corruption practices, code of conduct for mineral extraction. Again, a big question about working hours at factories. It's also a really tricky subdomain or question, because obviously we would like to enable similar practices like in Europe, no longer than 40 hours a week work time for factory workers. But often, I will give you just a good example. Often workers in China, in factories in China, they actually aim to have more than 40 hours because the minimum income is much lower. So to maintain and to make it more sufficient, they have to go for more than 40 hours. So if you insist that manufacturer do not allow workers to work more than 40 hours, you automatically reduce the income, monthly income, and sufficiency of this income for a family of this worker. So it becomes, you need to balance and find optimal solution. And because again, you can't maybe change the whole situation in such countries as China, but you still want to improve situation in factories on the factory level. And speaking of factories, we also have a really great tool, accepted factory list. Basically, we categorize factories on 3 different categories based on the number and how severe non-compliance is at these factories. And then we give some time to manufacturers to deal with these non-compliances, again, based on the situation, how severe they are. And eventually, if some of these factories are non-compliant and non-compliances are not removed, we blacklist this factory and request brands not to use the service of these manufacturers. Finally, the 4th domain is actually safer materials or safer chemicals. And it is another example of how challenging sustainability and addressing sustainability challenges can be. Because one of the most common practices in the world is to simply ban and restrict hazardous substances. And this is not the best and not optimal way to deal with the issue, because very often manufacturers will go around and find alternative, a similar substance or chemical, um, uh, which formula just slightly different compared to what is prohibited and in the blacklist. And they will start using that one, and that substance might be even more hazardous. And so what we do in under TCO certified certification, we offer a list of safer, verified, well-assessed chemical substances for particular chemicals like flame retardants and plasticizers used basically in cables and AT equipment to make them more flexible and durable. And we also have a list of allowed chemicals for processing chemicals. And I can share with you that in Gen 10, we want to expand the categories of yeah, substances and chemicals used in production. And we also constantly work on updating the list of safer substances that are assessed and verified. So basically, yes, one of the four domains in which we work on criteria and advanced criteria from generation to generation. Again, just feel free to reach out to me and especially our certification team to get more details and insights about some of our criteria in these domains. Really briefly, so how TCO certified works, again, it is three main stages. Pre-certification stage, when we and the independent verifiers and test labs work with brands that applies for certification for particular product models, and we check current compliance. And we also assess whether there is need an extra time to comply with the requirements and what can be improved if needed. If everything is all right, we give green light, and the brand applies and sends all documents that are already verified by independent verifiers, like TU and some other our partners. They send the documents through our portal. This is a certified portal, and then we do the following assessment. And finally, if everything is in place, and by this time it should be in place, otherwise we wouldn't even get to the second stage, to be honest. We give certificate for yeah, for the models that pass certification. And of course, we always follow up and regular assessment based on the whether it's a product level, factory level, or a brand level. We conduct interviews with brands. We continue maintain audits at factories, and occasional blind tests of products that are certified to double check compliance and performance of these products. As always, in case of non-compliance and an issue to quickly deal with this non-compliance, we simply revoke certificates, and we have such cases in the past. Of course, it's not an ideal situation, but it is for the sake for staying credible. But at the same time, it's always great to help and stretch hand to the industry to help and educate and enable better practices, practices that can help them to improve the product or situation at factories. I assume there are quite many purchasers in the audience, and I would just highlight why you may and why we encourage you to use this certified. Uh, and you know, the first thing is basically that TCO certified is a plug and play solution, a tool for you. You don't need to pay for anything. We work on criteria development. Yeah, you just take TCO certified and enable it in contracts, and you request certified products from bidders, suppliers, and basically you can start reporting on using TCO certified and offer really good storytelling around certified products about factories where these products produced, and what kind of positive impacts in supply chains are made around these products. And this is something what we can also help you if you reach out to us, to our marketing team, and in particular to my team, my colleagues that work with purchasers across the globe. We will help you to enable this and tell the story about your positive impact with this certified. Another big thing is basically you get access to the floor together with other purchasers. And first of all, you can affect, and as I mentioned, provide feedback and share your insights and what you would like to see in the future in terms of more sustainability with us, and help us to enable this in our requirements to brands and their products. And second, obviously, it's so much easier to impact and involve brands when there is a unity and network of purchasers around unified requirements and unified voice. Otherwise, I mean, if you want to make a change in the industry and you go alone and start a conversation with brands, you can imagine that it will lead to zero results, no impact in the end. So join us, join our network, express your vision and affect criteria development process, and use TCO certified. We believe this is one of the most impactful ways to make the change and make the impact on the industry. Just to give you a couple of examples who actually use this as certified, you may see that, quite international range, Europe, Northern America, governmental institutions, private sector, private companies. Some of these cases are actually the cases that I worked with. In particular, I really admire and like the work that Eva Robka from Poland did. She's in charge for procurement for all courts in Poland, 370 entities, and they have been using TCO certified for purchasing 4 product categories, all-in-one computers, desktop computers, notebooks, and something else. Another great example is actually Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, if I'm not mistaken, in Czechia. I didn't enlist it here, but I worked with them to enable and showcase TCO certified as a good practice on their website. And actually, we used and encourage purchasers to download, Czech purchasers, to download template from the ministry's website. And this template, was written by Czech television, Martin Ryman, head of procurement in Czech television, with whom we also work on this template. Governments, states in US. Recently, TCO certified was included on the national level in Italy and national environmental requirements. I know that they still revise, but it's in the process, and we are there. Some of the examples. And at this stage, I guess I have a couple of minutes left. I mean, it's not a big part of my presentation. I'd like maybe to focus and share my team's experience with distributors and distributing networks. Because to be honest, it is something new for us. We usually focus on purchasers. It's our primary target audience. But since recently, we also realized that system integrators, resellers, distributors, they play a vital role in offering and providing more sustainable solutions. And a big sign of this, we actually see many of them using our product finder to find currently available certified product models. And that's why we started to focus more and more on these collaborations, like the one with Market and the one you see now on my slide. By the way, never mind. I mean, it's really outdated print screens. I guess by now it should be many more products across all categories on the platform for actually all certifications enlisted in this filter. It's really old screenshots. So we focus more and more on such collaborations, and it is important to ease the life and choice for purchasers, and make it much easier to find available more sustainable options. And it's interesting because I used this word today earlier, constellations. And that's what I see, that's what we see in the world, and I see in the markets where I work in Central and Eastern Europe, bigger and bigger constellations of suppliers, resellers, distributors, purchasers, platforms like Market, and brands. And for example, we have a great case here. We have markets present in 45 countries. In most of these countries, we are present as well. In some of them, we have even offices with local managers, regional managers. And recently, I also worked with the largest distributor in Poland, ABPL, and another their daughter company, AT Computers, that is present in Czechia. They also enabled sustainability filters and offer basic information about sustainability and certifications like TCO certified. Again, we have Amazon with their pledge program and listed certifications and more sustainable options. As of now, for 6 countries, I know that soon more countries coming, and probably they'll try to share this practice across all markets where they're present across the globe. We have some good examples of local resellers that offer sustainability and TCO certified and filters like ATE in Sweden. And at the same time, we have global databases like OneWorld Sync, the databases that feed in information about IT products to basically all platforms. And at the same time, we have internal platform, our product finder. So you see, it becomes a big constellation, and that's why I want to highlight. Maybe I'll take just 1 more minute. I just want to highlight important things that maybe resellers and distributors and system integrators have to consider. And this group of stakeholders, I'd like them to just be aware and to know where and how to look for more sustainable options, and actually know the difference between certifications and eco-labels, because it's crucial to distinguish basic principles between the certifications to avoid greenwashing and blue washing, and also to deal with self-declarations that are not verified and not proved. And again, it's all about some basic support on the level of more sustainable options and offering information, or at least going back to certifications like ours or other certifications and listed at market platform, and asking managers to assist and be involved in offering and providing these solutions, IT solutions to their clients, to purchasers, to you guys. From our side, we're looking forward to actually, again, ease life for all the stakeholders and offer distinctive and simple product matching service when all databases are synchronized, and it's much easier to find full list of certified products across all platforms. Because sadly, right now we have an issue with this, because often brands share incomplete lists and different lists with different stakeholders. So we in the TCO development, we get one list of products and a full list of certified products. Distributors get another list, incomplete list, or like
Dmytro, sorry for the timer,
yeah,
but we still have few questions. Are you
absolutely.
finished with your presentation?
Basically, yes, I'm done. Just feel free to reach out to me and my colleagues and my team present in different regions and markets, and we help. We're happy to assist you and offer support and enable TCO certified in your procurement.